I'm sorry I'm late. The Honourable Joe Biden, Mick Wallace referred to, landing the planes in Shannon, delayed me. There's a big palaver around the Green with dozens and dozens of stretched limos. I don't know where he's gone for a pint, but he's obviously gone for somewhere local. I want to support Maureen O'Sullivan's bill as a small step towards a kinder and more humane society in all aspects, and especially not just about how we treat hares, but I think this is a wider argument about our attitude to all sentient beings. So I welcome this initiative and thank you, Maureen, for bringing it to the Dáil. And I think that the case has been made by many different groups here on the cruelty involved in hare coursing. It's undeniable and it's unbelievable. And to claim that the animals don't suffer and that the tradition must be respected, etc., I think is a weak argument, a very weak argument, and in most cases demonstrably false. There would be more honesty involved in this debate if those who oppose the banning of hare coursing would simply tell us there's lots of money to be made in it, both from the events that they run and from the gambling that takes place in the industry. And therefore it is about putting the creation of profit and commerce ahead of other considerations and ahead of the terror and the pain that's inflicted on defenceless animals. But beyond that, I was really struck in preparation for this debate on a number of things I hadn't realised. Most importantly, the wildlife expert and bird watcher and photographer Eric Dempsey, who I did a class with in the People's College on bird watching, points out that Irish hares are a unique race of mountain hares found nowhere else in the world, a protected species, and Heather Humphreys as Minister can issue licences to the coursing clubs who net them and hunt them, but that these hares are in a very serious decline across the country due to habitat decline and other issues around the country as well as the coursing. But what's most interesting is that these animals are for us one of the longest established native mammal on the island and one of the last living links we have to the previous ice age. I think that's quite an amazing thing to think about and would be a real shame to lose them. And the same naturalist Eric Dempsey points out that we don't spend any real effort in protecting our natural heritage as against our national heritage. So there's nearly total silence when birds like the corn bunting go extinct, or the corncrake and the skylark and the yellowhammers, which are now going into serious decline. So we have to think about these things because they do contribute to the sort of society that we want to live in. So we support this bill for those specific issues of hares, but because it does say something about the kind of society that we should aspire to. I wasn't born with a huge aspiration for animal rights, but I've come to believe in the concept of our duties as humans to both all living things, people, as well as the beings who inhabit this planet, and that we should act at all times to minimise infliction of cruelty and pain to animals that's unnecessary. And that's not just on hare coursing, but on animals which we export and the manner in which we produce animals in agriculture and poultry. I think, though, that the ultimate source of this cruelty and the degradation of animals is inherent in the sort of economic system that we have, and that is the one that prioritises competition and profits before people and environment. It is an economic system that degrades both the importance of human needs behind that profit system and certainly does the same to animals. So for those who campaign for animal rights, like Matty, etc., we stand with the people, or those who campaign for the rights of coursing. We want to say that we stand with the people who campaign for the rights of animals against unnecessary cruelty and suffering that's inflicted on them. But the ultimate cause of that suffering is not Matty McGrath or the people at Tipperary, or it's not some kind of misguided element of our society. It is an economic system that prioritises profits above all other considerations and relegates the needs of humans and other species. So if we're now living in the midst of the Earth's sixth great extinction event, biodiversity is crashing across the planet. The cruelty that this bill highlights is just a small example of why coursing and generally cruelty and degradation of this economic system towards animals and towards environment is absolutely wrong, and we should oppose it. And I want to endorse Maureen's bill and welcome the fact that she's brought it here this evening.